Yeah, NBA draft last night, guys. We got to talk about this because I'm still scratching my head at how the Timberwolves moved up 20 spots. Someone's got to check the Jimmy Johnson trade value chart because I'm not sure the Spurs got good value here. A lot of people were probably in bed. It's like 10:30 last night. Second round is about to start, and the Timberwolves go from 53 to 33 in exchange for a 2026 second round pick and a 2028 second round pick. That's all it took. Wow. So the Wolves get, I think, a really intriguing player in Leonard Miller, who is 6'10", 7-foot wingspan. Watch him, guys. He can finish in any contorting position around the rim. He's really physical around the basket. I love that he's a lefty because I'm a lefty. He's very silky. I think his shot motion is kind of weird. I think he's going to have to work on it, but his stats aren't bad, like 32% from three-point range. Just an efficient scorer, but also a rim protector. He's got those long arms. There's a lot of chase down blocks. He protects the rim really nicely. So I love this pick. And then they kept 53. The Spurs couldn't even get 53 in that trade. So the Wolves got another guy, Jalen Clark, who's an absolute workhorse. You guys got to see his highlights. Super fast, super scrappy, defensive player of the year. This is Tim Connolly's wheelhouse, you guys, is drafting late round talent in the NBA draft. I think he's got two gems. I love this draft. Brandon.
So to see them jump up to 33, you knew that Connolly had some sort of a draft crush. And I think you hope that the guy on the back end, Jalen Clark, can maybe do like a Jared Vanderbilt impersonation, which is kind of funny when you think about the picks the Wolves traded and the players they traded to get Rudy Gobert. But I'm excited about Leonard Miller. Big numbers in the G League. You love those long, athletic, kind of just defensive kind of guys. But it's not just the secondary aspects of the game. He can score too. He's going to scrap for loose balls. He can do a lot of things, and it'll be interesting to see how he fits into the rotation, because I think at times last year I felt like Chris Finch had a lot of options, and it was kind of hard to get consistent minutes for guys at different points in the season. So I'll be curious to see, first of all, where he fits in the rotation, and then how quickly he gets into the rotation, because it's hard to acclimate rookies, and that's especially true for second round guys.
Yeah, to Sam's point, this is Connolly's wheelhouse. If any GM knows how to hit on one of these late-round picks, it might be Tim Connolly, who's got the track record on his resume. Guys like Jokic, obviously. Even guys like Jaden McDaniels originally over there, too, before he got to Minnesota. So he's proven it's possible to find some steals in round two. And plus, even though they traded him away, he did nail the Walker Kessler pick last year, his very first pick as a Wolves GM, too. So clearly this guy knows what to look for when you get later in the draft. So that's encouraging. The other thing, too, is with another trade up like that, I'm sure some fans were thinking, oh, my God, he's trading more future picks away. What are we doing? Well, don't forget the D'Lo Conley deal netted him 3 second rounders, remember? So even with the trade last night, he's still up one extra second rounder going into next year. So I thought all in all, he put on a little mini masterclass on draft protocol last night when it came to just knowing when to stay patient and then wheeling and dealing when the time was right to go get his guys. So that was nice to see. As far as the picks go, I'll echo what both of you guys said. I mean, Miller is about as big of a ball of raw, talented clay you're ever going to find that late in the draft. Youngest player in the class, only 19. Definitely a project. Just scratching the surface as far as physical and mental makeup. But before the draft, I saw this guy as high as 13 on some people's boards. That's how much raw talent this kid has. And the comp I saw too last night, which should get Wolves fans pretty jacked up, Jaden McDaniels, actually. So 2, 3, 4 years down the road, if they're able to develop his skill set, I think they got a huge steal at the top of round 2.
Yeah, I agree with that, Luke. When I look at this draft, I think the length, and we talked about this, if you're going to add something, you need to add something to help out Anthony Edwards. This is what the team is about right now. As it stands right now, they still have Karl-Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert. So Karl-Anthony Towns, as crazy as it might seem, he said we only have 4 to 5 months, and the Nuggets have 4 to 5 years to do what they did. So maybe they truly believe 1 full year plus an off season, and then we can get in here and do some things. You put another long body out there, which allows Karl-Anthony Towns to be a stretch 4 when you have another guy in Miller coming in to be a defender to help out the bigs. Here's some cool things, though. Amen and Thompson, the twins. went 4-5 Rockets and Pistons. I thought that was cool. Here's another one for me. When you go down to the 53, and that was, I think Sammy had a great point, the fact they didn't have to give up 53 to move to 33. Jalen Clark out of UCLA, he was a top 40 prospect until he tore his Achilles. This pick right here is more of a pick and stash. See how he comes off injury, see if what he can be. But at 6'5", he was a legit defender. He was all defense in the NCAA, blah, blah. Like, the kid is really good, and he tore his Achilles towards the end of the year. So there's a kid that might have went, 40 or higher if he had not torn his Achilles. So I think the Timberwolves are getting him, hoping he can come back from that and be a true guard, wing, long, 6'5". Put him with Anthony Edwards. Have two long guards out there that can defend, but Anthony Edwards can be the scorer. In the NBA nowadays, you don't need a true point guard anymore. We saw that with the Warriors. They don't have a true point guard when they put Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry out there. Draymond Green brings the ball up. So I think there's and also now. Chris Paul, yeah. Well, we'll see. Yeah. And then also you got I like Leonard Miller being from Canada. So maybe he'll give us a better Canadian feel than Wiggins did on his departure.